a little trip with me, and hopefully you can see how the hood, suburbs, and Main Street are all connected. Enough respect it, I mean, we network across the globe, cause it's a global market in case you didn't know. And since we all about information flow, let me be the first one to welcome you to Tech Zone with Paul Amadeus Lane. Let's talk tech, cause technology changing the game. It's all good in the hood, it's everywhere. Now let's get to the show, cause we live on air, yeah.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the Tech Zone. I'm your host, Paul Amadeus Lane. So happy to have you with me today on the show. And remember, you can always connect with me at paulonwheels.com. A big thanks to those tuning in on KMT 1490, ABC News Radio, YouTube, live stream, tune in, you name it, through the apps. Thank you guys so much for the support. And we're almost at 500 subscribers on YouTube. So let's see if we can get there real soon. Just started the show a little over 2 months ago. And it's grown, and it's only because of you. And coming up real soon on the Tech Zone, we're going to have a real cool giveaway. Technology based, of course, so you don't want to miss that. And tell your friends about the show. Connect with me, paulonwheels.com. That's paulonwheels.com. And that'll get you connected in all my social media, YouTube, you name it, we can connect. Any questions about tech, please send it to me, and I will be happy to definitely, answer them for you. And maybe even get a guest to talk about a particular subject out there that is of interest to you. Coming up on our show today, we're going to be talking about a solution and innovation out there that's helping retailers out there, retail stores. So if you're a retail store owner, you don't want to miss coming up in our third segment, we're going to talk about some retail innovation out there with a company that's helping retail establishments, meet the challenge in this day and age of their products, making sure that, if you have an overstock of things, how you will know that if things is moving slowly, not selling enough. The company coming up on third segment is going to help us to navigate through retail innovation. So you don't want to miss that coming up. And in our first and second segment, we're going to be finishing off our interviews that we did at Comic-Con 2016 at the Green Screen Gears and Gaming. You remember last week we had actor Christopher Gorham on with us. Chris has been on a lot of great things. Once upon a time, he voices the Flash and the DC comic movies out there. Great actor, great producer. Had a chance to sit down and talk with him about his love of video games. And also Vince Argentine, who's a motion capture supervisor. So, all the video games where you have like motion and people moving, he's actually the person who put that together in a lot of games. So if you missed that, go to my YouTube channel, Paul Amadeus Lane. Search that on Google. It'll take you to my YouTube channel, and you can definitely check it out. It was episode 12 of the Tech Zone. So we're going to finish up those interviews today. Scott Porter, actor extraordinaire, Friday Night Lights, Scorpio, you name it. We'll be talking to him shortly, and also some other great people behind the scenes. And composer extraordinaire, Neil Akery. Neil Akery. Sean, you know who Neil Akery is, don't you? In the composition world of video games. We actually have it in our second segment. But to get our show started off, this is something that I came across CNET's website the other day. Stephen Shankland put this article out on CNET. You guys definitely want to check it out. But it's an article about USB Type-C, how that could kill the headphone jacks that we have on our smartphones, our computers. And remember when the 3.5 audio jack came out, it was a way that we plugged in our Sony Walkman. So remember that. You were a cool kid or a cool person if you had a Walkman. Well, the USB Type-C might change all that. Now, this will be able to connect to a lot of audio devices. What is it going to do to the smartphones? Well, the smartphones start having this right now. But it's going to be pretty interesting because right now we can find USB Type-C already in the Apple MacBook, the HP Spectra laptops, Google Nexus 6P, Samsung Galaxy Note 7 phones. They have these ports already. So if you have those phones, let me know how you guys like it. Can you tell a difference between that and the 3.5 jack? We will be following the story and checking it out. Are you a small business owner out there who maybe have a home office and you don't want to bring your customers to your home office? You want to keep that private. When I was at the Wonder Woman in Tech conference a few months ago, I ran across a company that has a solution that could basically help you out with this. The company is called Ironfire, and check out this interview I did with the founder of Ironfire.
Well, Ironfire is a membership-based workspace for freelancers, entrepreneurs, early-stage startups, basically anybody who has flexibility in where they work. Typically, people who work from home are looking for a better sense of community, to get out of the isolation and distraction of their home offices. So we provide community, we provide shared resources, shared space, free Wi-Fi, free coffee, and things of that nature.
So that means, like, if I have a home-based business and I kind of want to, I guess, expand a little bit, I can do so without the cost that it would cost me if I try to do this myself.
Absolutely, because normally if you're looking for an office space, you're going to be paying for a long-term lease, maybe a deposit, a little bit of a build-out, furnishing the space, utilities, the list goes on and on. But with a co-working space like Ironfire, all that stuff's provided for you, and all you're paying is your monthly membership fees, and everything else is covered. It's all there. Plus the community of other people that are doing similar things.
Now, Josh, I noticed back here we have Meet Some of the Tech Made in Long Beach. What does that mean right there?
Well, a lot of people don't realize that Long Beach has a lot of tech that's built here and created here, a lot of startups. The reason that people don't know that is because there's not really a center of gravity for that entrepreneurial ecosystem in Long Beach. It's very spread out. They're very siloed. They're all kind of doing their own things, a lot of them from a home office. So what I'm trying to do is showcase that we do have a lot of tech here in Long Beach that originated here, that's built here, and that's contributing to economic development here in Long Beach. So I just want people to know what's going on here, and some of their favorite apps might be made in Long Beach. They might not even know it.
Yeah, because I didn't even know that. I was born and raised in Long Beach. So is Long Beach becoming like the Southland's, I guess, tech hub? You know how we got Silicon Valley? Is Long Beach becoming that, you think?
It's getting there. I mean, the city is also behind that movement, trying to make Long Beach more of a hub of tech innovation. LA has that. It's a huge tech hub right now. Orange County is growing that way, but Long Beach is kind of behind LA and Orange County. So and it's right in the middle, and there's a huge population here, a lot of people, a lot of opportunity here. It's a great city, so we're trying to really kind of kickstart that a little bit and get it going and get people to be more aware of what's happening here.
So Josh, how can viewers and listeners out there find out more information about Ironfire?
Well, you can go to ironfire.co, that's .co, or you can go to, we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, we're all over social media, so the best place to start is the website, so ironfire.co, I would say.
Awesome, Josh, thank you so much, and wish you much success, my friend.
Thanks very much, appreciate you talking to me.
All right.
That was Josh Rencher from Ironfire, and don't forget to check him out. He made a lot of sense out there. I didn't even know Long Beach was that up on it when it comes to innovation, but I was so happy to run across Josh from Ironfire. And make sure you definitely go check them out. Like we talked about in the beginning of the show, we are going to finish up the series that we did last week from Comic-Con 2016 when we talked to some of the folks behind the gamers, green screen, and gaming, something like that. Sean, help me out here, buddy. I don't know, I forgot. But right now we're going to replay the interview that I had a chance to do with actor Scott Porter. Scott talked about his love of video games, and sit back and enjoy. Here's Scott.
All right, for all you TV watchers out there, look who I'm with, Scott Porter, Friday Night Lights. Hey, Scott, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing very well. I'm very excited to be here at Comic-Con. I'm going to talk one of my favorite passions. We're talking video games today, so it's like my worlds colliding and making this wonderful experience down here in San Diego.
Now, Scott, when it comes to video games, what was your first video game console?
Actually, the Atari 2600. The first game I played was this game called Baby Bouncer, and there was a burning building, and the firemen would throw babies out the window, and then other firefighters would bounce the babies on trampolines to safety. At 5 years old, I thought that's how it worked, but now I realized that's a terrible idea. And I hope that should have come with a disclaimer. Like, if building is on fire, do not throw babies at trampolines.
Absolutely.
That was my first console and first game. And then from there I moved to the NES, and then I had them all. I would save my pennies, and I would know that every like 3 or 4 years there's a new system coming out, and I would work my tail off. And my mom and dad never had any shortage of work for me to do, and I would save. So when the Super Nintendo came out, I was there on day one and I had it. And all the kids would come by my house, and we would just game. Back in the days when you had to be physically there. So.
And you know, Scott, when we look at how gaming has evolved over the years, remember you talk about the 2600. Remember asteroids and trying to shoot that. But now we see technology just taking it to a different level. And did you ever think of that in your wildest dreams that you will see that?
You know, this year I was at E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo, and a lot of the focus this year was on VR, was on virtual reality rigs, and you know, everybody has their own. There's the Vive and the Oculus, and PlayStation has its own, and it was a little jarring to me as a traditional gamer. Pick up a controller, look at a TV, and you know, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. I didn't think that we would be living in a world where we basically are on a holodeck now, like a Star Trek holodeck, where like you can put a helmet on and then you're in any situation. And it was really cool because there's some things you can do that you can't do without a controller. But on the other end of the spectrum, the one that doesn't scare me is the fact that, you know, every day I get on, my brother and sister and my father live in Orlando, Florida. I live in Los Angeles, California. And I get on and I game with them almost daily. I have them in my headset. We're playing together a cooperative game. And, you know, kids these days are hard to get on a phone, but I can get them on a headset and I can talk to them for 3 or 4 hours. So the technology is incredible, and it does nothing but bring us closer. But it also kind of scares me, the virtual reality stuff. We're one step closer to living in a virtual world. So I hope we don't lose this, you know what I'm saying, this connection. But it's all really cool.
You know, Scott, that's one thing that I've talked to a lot of people in the industry, and that's kind of one of the things that they are concerned about with VR. You know, I think it's we're at a time where we need VR, but responsible VR, because think about it, you're going to have people that want to stay in that VR world forever, don't want to go to work and everything, but I think you're definitely spot on with it. And when it comes to the gaming as a whole, with the compositions, the films and games and everything, it kind of takes it to a new level. I mean, you really feel immersed in a game when you have all that together.
You know, sometimes I watch a film, and it didn't used to be like this, but sometimes I watch a film and I go, man, that would have made an amazing video game, because they shot so big and they kind of missed the mark, because you can't put an entire universe into 2 hours of film. You can put an entire universe into 60 hours of gameplay. And it used to be the opposite, you know? Oh, this game will make a great movie. They should make the movie. Now I watch some movies and I go, this property would have been a better game. And I never would have thought that would have happened. At this point, the scores you hear for games rival the scores that you hear like Michael Giacchino doing for, you know, Star Trek, or for, you know, or even television for Lost, or even, you know, those shows. You know, John Williams scores are always so iconic, but I guarantee this next generation knows the Halo theme song just as well as they know the Star Wars theme song. You know, and when people hear that, it's like, oh, Master Chief, he's coming. And the fact that at this point, video games are almost outselling films is just a whole nother level. But video games wouldn't be able to do that if they didn't have these amazing minds buying in and creating these amazing products in the video game world. So I'm just excited to see where we go after this, and I'm excited to talk to the guys who are behind the games here today.
Awesome. Now, when you were at E3, did you go to the Sony press conference?
I did.
Wasn't that sick the way they opened it up?
I mean, you've got like a symphony. You've got an entire men's choir singing the God of War theme song. Again, an iconic theme that you're like, oh, they're doing it, God of War is coming back. You've got a female percussionist slash beatboxer slash singer on the left side of the stage, and they are carrying the soundtrack for all of these, at the Shrine Auditorium, mind you, all of the actual like gameplay that's up on the screen is being accompanied by this symphony. It was incredible. Sony this year And I'm mostly an Xbox guy. I'm on record.
I said the same thing.
And Sony, that might have been the greatest press conference I have ever seen, hands down. As a matter of fact, I think it was.
I tell you, it blew me away. We're in the back, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it was sick.
I couldn't. And I brought my little brother and sister. My brother just turned 18. You got to be 18 to get in. He just turned 18. My sister's 22. I flew them out for E3. It was their first experience. They got to go to all the press conferences and got to get hands-on with almost everything. And that was the last press conference of, Sunday and Monday, or the press conference days. That was the last one. And man, how to end on a high note. They were blown away. And my little brother, you want to talk about this next generation, how they feel about video games is how we felt with television, or how some people felt with music. When the Beatles first came to the States and girls are crying and guys are just like going nuts over them, or, certain television theme songs like MASH will make my dad tear up, a little bit like that. They said they're bringing Crash Bandicoot back, and my brother, was speechless. You could see tears well up in his eyes because he was 3.5 years old, and it's the first game he ever remembers playing. And he thought they would never bring it back, and now they're bringing it back, and a piece of his childhood. It sparked something in him. It sparked real emotion. And I think 2 decades ago, people thought that video games would never be able to do that, and they were wrong, because Wing Commander was around back then, and I was crying then. But now that it's more mainstream, people are starting to understand just how powerful video games can be.
Battlefront VR, I'm waiting for that.
I'm going to be holding back on the VR a little bit. The only VR I played this year that really made me go, I don't need a controller, and I can do things that I can't do with the controller, was the Doom VR. You could throw grenades one way and shoot the other way and be looking at the doorway to make sure no monsters are coming. And the whole time I felt like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was like, yeah. So anyway.
Scott, before we let you go, what's the weirdest thing you've seen at Comic-Con today? Weirdest costume?
Weirdest costume? There's these little stuffed animals, and they're like stuffed animals of viruses, like stomachache or Ebola, or and they take the cellular form of the virus and then they make it into a plushie. And I saw a couple, and they were viruses. It was like life-size viruses, and they were making out, and it was very. I was like, oh, it looked like two dangerous amoebas conjoining. It was very odd.
It was troubling, wasn't it?
It was weird.
And last question: favorite comic book character or superhero of all time?
I mean, golly. Look, I'm a big fan of top 5 lists, but I can narrow it down a little bit.
Okay, give me top 5.
Iceman is probably my favorite superhero of all time. I think there's something to, in The Flash, I love The Flash for the same reason. I think there's something to the hero who's so powerful that they're almost scared of how powerful they can be, and they hide behind the jokes, and they hide behind, the humor, and they act like a goof off and everything, just because they don't want to take on that full responsibility. I think it's in all of us. I think, all of us deal with our emotions differently. They deal with it in humor, and that's kind of what I do, and that's how I connected to it. But it's not in a cocky Spider-Man way. It's in a very much like they use it as an armor almost to keep themselves kind of safe, and both of them have had traumatic experiences and stuff like that. And, Iceman was abandoned by his family and stuff, and I love Iceman. I think Bobby Drake is my favorite.
Awesome. Hey, well, thank you so much for joining me, my friend, and enjoy the con.
Thank you so much, man.
The amazing actor extraordinaire, Scott Porter, talking about his love of video games. And don't forget, coming up, we also like to thank Josh Rencher, too, for joining us from Ironfire. Check him out. Go to their website. Great solution out there. When we get back, we're going to finish our discussion about the Gears Gaming and Green Screen. Going to be joined by composer Neil Akery. Sean, are you hyped? Sean knows who Neil Akery is and some of the things he's done when it comes to, video gaming. So we'll be right back here with more Tech Zone. I'm Paul Amadeus Lane. Be back after these messages.
Welcome you to Tech Zone with Paul Amadeus Lane. Let's talk tech, cause technology changing the game. It's all good in the hood, it's everywhere. Now let's get to the show, cause we live on air, yeah.